Hi Miranda. So I just wanted to show this to you real quick, a little video. My voice to text is acting funny and I've tried a couple of times. So pardon the background, my workspace is really messy right now. This is the Eco Dye paper that I created a few months ago. And it takes a little bit of time to do this. You get leaves and branches and twigs and whatnot from your yard or the park or wherever. And then you bind them in the paper and throw in some rusty items. And I did mine outside in our big lobster pot because I didn't want the fumes in the house. But I boiled it for a few hours so that the paper absorbs. And then I put plastic down on the concrete and put the sheets out to dry. You can see I didn't do a very good job. It's the first time I've hand stitched. This is called a signature into the book itself. Just wanted to show that to you. So on this page, what I did is I took some watercolor and I did red and light brown and painted with the paintbrush over the veins of the leaf to give it that background pattern. Then I took a dark blue ink and stamped some text randomly on the paper. Next, I took a darker brown and stamped the images of the flower blooms randomly throughout the page. And then I had some gold wax and I put it over to give it that gold sheen because the inside cover of my autumn journal that I'm creating has a metallic wood grain on it. It's gonna flash pretty bright if I show you. So I'll try to keep it under wraps. So that's the inside. And I'm gonna have another piece that I'm sewing in, so I left a space for that, and I still had to put another piece over that section to hide that it's left open, if you will, so that it doesn't crack the paper. And let's see, on some of the pages I put lace down before I added a top paper. Some of the backs of the Eco Dye paper didn't absorb any of the pattern, so I just went ahead and put cardstock over that. Now, this one turned out pretty, so I'll leave that open so that the recipient can add her own to this page. And this page I'll put pockets and tags and little tucks in that one because it's pretty bare. I followed that with the back one. And a lot of stuff I print on the color printer, and I did that in half, and I'm gonna embellish that and add some ephemera to it. But I've got a ways to go. But this is the first page, and what I've done is I've used some of the cheesecloth or gauze, and I had a little mini video on how to color that. And then I've sewn pieces of fabric and trim together in like random complementary colors, and it's not perfect, it's just kind of put together, scrappy. And then I glued it onto the first page and added a little burlap piece with some hand-dyed seam binding and one of the old-fashioned round paper clips, and I added some buttons for her to take off and to use. And these are little tuck spots with this little tag in here. I've included some fabric and some ribbon for her to use. And what I've done is I've paper clipped it, and there's a bit of a tuck spot, and I'll add a few more items in here later. And then these will scoot over, and then this piece flips over and reveals another tuck spot here, where I've inserted some autumn tags into a little tuck spot. But I'm just so amazed that you can sew fabric and lace and ribbon onto paper. It's really amazing. And I'm learning as I go. And this one is a work in progress. I used that gold wax on there and a stencil with texture paste, and I added color to it because you can add powders to texture paste or gesso or the different mediums. Let me show you. And let's see. This is the little tub of the wax that I used to get the sheen on there. Sorry about the flash on there. So that's that bit. And the other one is, this is from the UK and it's fiber paste. And this is, it's really cool. It gives texture and dimension. And the cheesecloth that I get, I buy it from the market. The dollar store here doesn't carry it. I live in a really small town and there aren't any big box stores in my town. So the closest place is about a 30-minute drive one way to get to Michael's or Joann's. So there's that. And this is the gel medium. That this stuff works as a sealer. And it also, you can use it for your stencils. This is called gel medium. And I use Tim Holtz. I shop online at Amazon.com a lot, Amazon Prime. If you don't have one of these little tools, this is a paper distresser. This one's by Tim Holtz. I'm not sure if it's Tonic or Ranger, but each little section has a blade in there. And you use it to distress your edges to make your paper look old. And what I like to do is I always, if I'm looking at something that's vintage or shabby chic, I try to rough it on my edges, and I always use my ink blending tool with a darker color, whether it's ground espresso or black soot, and I always do the edges. It just really kind of pulls your pages together, if you will. And I accidentally threw one of these away, so now I have my pretty hand-dyed little ribbon attached to it so I can find it. All right, so I've rambled and showed my messy workspace. Please feel free to ask any questions. If I don't get to you right away, we've got a family of 5 and we're on the go quite a bit, so I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Have a great day. We'll talk soon. Bye.